Hey everybody, welcome back. HSC podcast doing a sports segment tonight. We followed last week and listened. We were talking about NFL draft, and now it's done. And really, a good draft. I thought it was deep, but overall, we're going to get into that. We'll talk NBA playoffs, and then get a little bit of the what's happening in sports talk media and LeBron. So talking a little LeBron, so that'll be fun.
Oh, it's been a lot of fun. Trust me.
Actually, then we're going to talk about some 80s players too. I actually like that one. That was fun exercise as well. So let's get into NFL draft. So if you guys following us a long time, we do NFL draft every year. Last week we talked about, where our picks, where we thought they would be, and just in general, the first round mostly. And so I want to talk a little bit about how deep the draft was in far as, what teams did well and what teams didn't do so well. So, top three best drafts, top three worst drafts. Before we actually get into this, though, I don't know if you guys notice it, but it's all over like CBS Sports, ESPN, all the different, mainstreams. There's a pretty big difference in what people are considering good and bad drafts. And it makes me wonder if they any of them know what they're talking about.
Well, and of course, no one knows what they're talking about. We talked about this last week when we were talking about, well, is it going to be this receiver, this? It doesn't matter what we think, it's what the organization thinks and how they fit. Because each player has they're like Liam Neeson in Taken. They have a specific set of skills, and this is what they need. They have the skills for this certain team. So
Right.
we can look at it and be like, oh, I like this guy really a lot, but he might not fit with that team.
Yeah, I agree with that. As far as just quality of draft overall, if you had to give it a letter grade, not team by team, but just overall, how good was this draft? Like A, B, C, D, E, F?
I would give it like a C plus because it's you don't have a bunch of A caliber guys. You have a bunch of solid guys, lots of
Right.
solid. But like we were talking, I think you in the first round there was probably a first round grade on like 12 guys. And then from like 13 to 100 are like all
Yeah, all in the C's. All right. What do you think, Wes? What grade are you giving it?
On the draft,
Yeah, just overall, eight F.
I mean, like every other draft, pretty much a C
C.
overall. So average.
Average. Yeah.
Yes, very average. Very average draft. What was annoying is people said in the first round, it's like this is the worst draft ever because you don't have all these quarterbacks taken. Well, you had five offensive linemen taken in the first round. Of course, people don't want to hear about offensive linemen, the dudes
Yeah.
that protect the quarterback so they don't get killed, right?
weren't there seven taken though?
Was it five or seven?
I think if you count,
Yeah, that's
what's
true.
his name for the Ravens is eight.
Was it? No.
Well, I think as all the
Jeez.
tackles went.
Well, when there's more offensive linemen taken than quarterbacks, people are like, "Oh, this is boring." And it's like, well, you're boring. So congratulations. But yeah, it's average.
Yeah, I think it gets weighed down when it doesn't have the offensive firepower that people are looking for. Because there was a lot of great defensive players, I think, in this draft that really can make some instant impact and long term for their teams.
Right, but you didn't have like a you know what I mean? You didn't have that. This draft, you had Mendoza because he's a quarterback. But if you looked at like Bailey or Reese in other drafts, would you be like, oh my gosh, that's the number one pick?
Yeah, comparatively to some of the previous edges. Yeah, and maybe not superstar caliber like that. I just high level talent.
Oh, we don't. We didn't. Manning didn't come out, so you know what? We can't.
Nobody cares.
We should have stopped the draft. We should shut it down. because Arch didn't come to the draft. So why even have a draft? You know?
I mean, for me, it was solid. It wasn't sexy. It was just
Right,
football players.
right.
Yeah.
And a lot of teams trying to fill positions, and I think that's kind of the difference in when the draft grades, and you see how people have different opinions in that. I think a lot of there's teams that did good filling their holes, and there's teams that tried to fill their holes that didn't do well. That
Yeah.
actually tried when they could have maybe reached for a player or went for someone just talent wise, tried to fill a position instead and missed.
Yeah.
Well, that was like my thought process on all this is you got to look at each team. And like you take teams like the Browns, Jets, Raiders, Cardinals, Titans, right? Those teams, it's not about this year, it's about next year. So
It's
you get as
about
much
them never
talent,
being good again because they haven't been good in like 20 years. Yeah.
but you get as much talent as you can, and then you grow that talent. Whereas other teams like the Rams or the Niners, I mean, the Bears or whatever, they're already in the playoffs. So then it's like, are you going to fill what you need to take you to the next step?
Well, I think what everybody is also wondering is if you are a playoff team like the Rams, why are you taking a backup quarterback at 13?
A lot of people are wondering about the Ty Simpson pick.
Yeah. So
But we
is Sean McVay, by the way.
but we called it here last week.
We did call it. That was pretty wild.
Good.
Um, but because there is a person or people out there that really believe Ty Simpson has a high ceiling.
Like other than someone running out of the end zone,
You mean you mean you mean the dude that played in the Rose Bowl and got destroyed by Indiana like 3-7? You
Right.
mean those people? He can't even score 10 points
They're all
against
on
Indiana in the
Alabama.
Rose Bowl? I mean, that's great.
Well, I
a
mean,
bunch of five stars.
Yeah. No.
probably the
Alabama used
team
to have a
that
lot of five
drafted
stars
him.
play. I'm sure Nick Saban wouldn't get beat 40-7 in the Rose Bowl. I guarantee you that.
To a bunch of 2 and 3 star team to a team with 2 and 3 star recruits, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Well, I hope, like I said, the Rams think he's a quality prospect because you just draft him at 13.
Yeah, since they're basically looking to go to the Super Bowl in their home stadium again, which they are the favorites in their conference, but you're going to take Ty Simpson at 13. They could have dropped down and taken Ty Simpson.
Yeah.
Can you imagine that? They could actually got draft picks and drop down and take Ty Simpson.
But I think that was the problem was no one wanted to trade up because there wasn't anybody that they wanted that early after, the first 10,
Well,
11 picks.
like, so we did these mock drafts, right? And what was interesting is I did the Raiders mock draft, and you could trade down to 6 or 5. The problem is you get to the mid rounds and there wasn't anybody that good. And that's why the Ty Simpson thing kind of dropped in there. It's like, okay, you got top, you got, Reese, you got Downs. Downs wasn't going to drop that far, you know. And I think that's kind of where the Rams got stuck in that. No one wants to trade up or trade to the spot because there's nobody that good in our opinion.
Yeah, you got a lot of teams figuring that they're going to get their player at their spot, so there's no reason to move.
Yeah,
And that leaves the Rams with like, oh, if they do have a great year next year again, or they have a good year even, do they have a chance at a quarterback again down the road? I don't know. Ty Simpson to me, just I don't know if that's the guy. It feels like the Kenny Pickett draft pick, right, for the Steelers.
yeah.
Remember they
Well,
took him what 16 or something like that.
Yeah, but they were.
If you saw the John Gruden, I don't know if you guys saw the John Gruden thing with Ty Simpson. I think that's what made him so popular
Hmm.
is because, and it's not Ty Simpson. It's their play calling, their stuff. Like it's like, well, that's great. It's great play calling, but this is still you guys still had it. You guys underachieved. You still didn't do that great. You know, so I don't
the
know.
the problem is the mindset here is you're trying to win a Super Bowl, right? F them picks. Isn't that the Rams' motto to win Super Bowls?
Yeah.
And instead, they turned into the Packers. What happened when Aaron Rodgers was in his like prime, right? And they drafted Jordan Love.
Yeah.
Did they go to the Super Bowl?
Yeah.
Their window was closed. Oh, because we got our next quarterback. Are the Packers in the Super Bowl right now? No. The you go in the NFL to win Super Bowls, not to be good and not to be set up for years to come. If you don't win Super Bowls, it doesn't matter if you go to the playoffs every year.
Yeah.
Well,
No one's going to
but
remember you.
it also makes you wonder if there's something wrong with his back because we don't know.
Yeah. That's the other
But
problem. How,
at this point, it doesn't matter if there's something wrong with the back. Ty Simpson ain't coming in as a rookie and doing anything. You had Stetson Bennett. I mean, Stetson Bennett has more championship experience than freaking Ty Simpson. It's
Well,
like, what are we doing here?
I mean, to
I
me,
mean,
honestly,
don't tell me that
how
Ty Simpson's so much better than Stetson Bennett.
how different is Ty Simpson from Carson Beck or even Garrett Nussmeier?
right.
Oh, Nessmeyer got seventh round.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like he fell that far. Insane.
There's not a big difference either. Not a first to seventh round difference between those two quarterbacks. That's
And
Well,
crazy.
that was
you're telling me we got all these great quarterbacks in the NFL. That's why every year 20 teams suck. And Nessmeyer falls to the seventh round.
And then you get Ty Simpson in the first.
yeah.
Yeah. You're reaching for Ty Simpson, but
Oh man.
Nessmeyer is in the seventh round. Because
All
it's
right.
cheap.
So I've had enough Ty Simpson. Let's talk the
Well,
best.
we'll
No,
probably be
let's
talking about him again.
right. Let's talk about the worst actually. Let's since we're in negative town right now, let's talk about the worst first. So we're gonna say, the top three worst drafts by team. Let's just start with, third. We'll each say where we're at third. I'm sure we're gonna double up here on teams so we can add in and whatever commentary we want here. But Derek, why don't you go first? Third,
My
third
third
worst.
worst is the Minnesota Vikings.
Oh, all right.
Um,
Well, tell us why.
well, I mean, look, I'm a Florida guy and I love Caleb Banks, but he's not the 18th pick overall, especially if Jermon McCoy falls to the fourth round because of injury concerns, but you're going to still draft Caleb Banks in the first.
Right.
That was a reach. And then they doubled up and got Dominic Orange in the third, who's just kind of he's just of an orange. He plays like a big orange. I didn't think you didn't get an offensive lineman until the late third, running back in the sixth. I mean, you're still going with Aaron Jones and gosh, what's his name? What is it? Who's
Uh,
Shaq
Jordan
Mason?
Mason.
Jordan
Jordan,
Mason.
Jordan Mason.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's your running backs. You lost Naylor. You didn't pick up anybody to play a third wide receiver. I think they're just, going on. They last year or the 2 years ago, they were one of the top teams in the NFL, and now it's kind of like they're on their downward turn.
Well, it happens when you don't have a quarterback, though.
Well, they got Kyler Murray.
Well, now they do. I'm just saying they had troubles last year.
Right. Well, they had Sam Darnold.
Yeah, good job letting him go, huh?
Yeah.
All right, I mean, that's a good one. All right, Wes, what do you think? Worst, not the worst, the third worst.
Third worst. Jesus Christ. I don't know. It's, you know, the Dolphins. Dolphins always suck. That's the third worst. Just because of being the Dolphins. You know, what do they
Well,
actually
they
do?
had an interesting draft, and taking linemen early, real early.
Yeah, you're talking about a team that hasn't won a playoff game, since Y2K. Like, yeah, it's the Dolphins. And it's like you got to do something. You got to be aggressive, and they just weren't. And you don't really have a quarterback. You know, you don't have any. You get, I get that Tua's gone, and you're replacing, but you got to make some moves. I think the Dolphins. It was just a lackluster draft.
Yeah, you look at um I think they had one good pick for sure in Jacob Rodriguez, the Texas Tech linebacker. I'm not real sure about any of their other picks. I don't know how much I like the Caden Proctor pick that early.
That's a project.
Right.
Yeah, it's like I'm sorry, but this is Miami. This isn't like Charlotte or Nashville. Like this is Miami. Like, I'm just gonna switch over to basketball a little bit. I heard
Okay,
a lot of
LeBron.
talk about Miami and the reason why they're not getting players and who they're gonna get. They get Giannis. They're like, and Stephen A is like, it's Miami. It's like, what about the Dolphins? Like, why can't they be that type of team? It's Miami, guys.
Yeah.
Everybody wants to live in Miami.
Except
You
football
know?
players, apparently.
No, it's dead.
I mean, that's interesting there. Yeah, I have at my third, so I put the Lions in here at the third, and not because their whole draft was bad. They had some talent, but here's the an example of a team that I think tried to fill spots with the wrong people. They reached at some certain positions to fill those spots, and I don't know that they got the guys like, you're trying to get a tackle and you take, Blake Miller in the first round. He's just not one of the best tackles out there. He was low on my list.
Yeah. Well, and the Lions are about building a culture. That's what they are. It's like, they keep coming up short in the playoffs. It's like it's weighing on the fans. It's weighing on, the players. It's like you build a culture, you know, and you're right. It's like almost like they kind of like, oh, we're giving up. It's like, come on, dude.
Yeah, well, I think
You already should have been in the Super Bowl. You're like the only team that hasn't been. Look at the Browns, what they did. The
yeah,
Browns are actually stacking players.
yeah, they
That
are.
draft was pretty good for the Browns. They're like, hey, you know what? We know we're a team. We haven't been to the Super Bowl. So let's stack some players. A receiver. We got a good running back. He's going to be healthy. We just
Well,
don't know
they'll
about
be
this quarterback guy.
the Browns will be on, are on a lot of people's top three lists, I think, as I look through some of that. So the Browns was good draft, but in the sense of like that comparison, the Lions, I think you're right. They really underachieved, right? We all expected them to be a lot better last year. Hopefully they clean up from the losing their coordinators and that helps them. But the problem is for them in their draft, and they did have one pick I liked, but again, you're asking these guys to be impact players, and I just don't know if they got the right ones to just be, fit into the and
Well,
play right away.
but the thing about the draft is, and I thought about it, and so I taped the third day and I watched it, and third day is my favorite day. Right? You got the guys that, all right, oh, they're not that good and stuff. It's like, and then you get gems, but the crazy thing is, a lot of these guys don't make the team, and everyone's like over evaluating the draft.
Right.
And it's like, look at your team. I mean, I'm sorry. And the Jets had a good first couple days. I mean, but then again, it's the Jets. What are we talking about here? You know, it's like, what is the nucleus of your organization? What is it?
Well,
And, I'm sorry to say the Seahawks got a steal late with Notre Dame's running back.
oh, Price, yeah.
Yeah,
Late in the first round.
but giving up Walker, it's like, dude, you can't give up Walker. That's just dumb. But you know what they did? Is okay, we got him, you know.
Well, Price
We
Price
got
is good.
Charbonnet, we got him. It's like they have a nucleus. They have a system that they believe in so much that they're holding the Vince Lombardi trophy. Right? And the Buffalo Bills are still struggling to figure out how to hold the Vince Lombardi trophy. It's like you got the best quarterback in the NFL. Sam Darnold's a top 5 quarterback. No, he isn't. It's ridiculous. But
Well, we know.
they
Look,
built the draft around, picking their defense.
yeah,
Young and fast on defense.
they won mainly because of defense. Um, Darnold just happened to be the right guy in the right place at the right time.
Yeah, it was.
All right, so number two, I'll start with this one. I think this is on a lot of people's lists, but I got the Jags here. I think it's like you had a lot of chances to make good picks, and I just don't like any of their picks. I mean, the Oregon kid, you gotta like him, right? But when you're talking about your best player you got was a decent guard from Oregon in the third round, like that's not a strong draft. Um, I did definitely, yeah, like the a tight end early. You take a safety in the third round as well. I think the Jags are, one of those teams that you expect to come up next year. And just like we talked about, it's like, come on, you got to fill positions with players that can play. And talent
Yeah.
wise, I just don't think they got it done down in Jacksonville.
No, was it offensive guard from Oregon we're talking about? I
Yeah.
mean, yeah, that's great, but it's like they didn't. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, but that's the thing. It's like we don't. I mean, you put them on the field. How? I mean,
No,
was
that's
it?
why we're just
Jalen Husky from Maryland. You don't know who the guy is. You know, Wesley. Oh, there's Wesley. All right. Wesley from Duke. Like, some of these guys are just like, you know, it, yes, you're right. Like, it's like you should make, you're the Jaguars, another Florida team. It's like, but
nobody wants
again,
to go to Florida apparently.
yeah, nobody wants to live in Florida
All
anymore.
right, Wes, what do you got for number two worst?
Number 2 worst, the Niners.
I think a lot of
It,
people have the Niners.
yeah, I mean, you- I get getting Black from Indiana. I understand that, but he's not really a pass catcher. You're not replacing, Christian McCaffrey. Again, they had what? Uh, well, number one, they didn't have a first round pick.
Right. And so
So,
then their number two wasn't great either.
no, it wasn't. I mean, you know, uh, the kid from Ole Miss. No, we're talking about the Niners here. Like the Niners, you're not going to make them. You're not going to make a move into the first round at the bottom. Like, I guess, yeah, I gotta say the only maybe they're filling holes, but honestly, they got a lot of holes to fill. Their defense is getting old. And again, my idea about defense is the Seattle Seahawks. Do what the Seattle Seahawks. Get them young and fast, and don't pay them. And then when they want to get paid, say, okay, I will pay you to an extent, and if you don't like it, I'm going to trade you. That's the way to be a defense in the NFL now.
Yeah, they did it right. And I think San Francisco, they should be paying attention because they're in the same division.
Well, it's okay. They got two Washington players, so the
Yeah.
49ers should be good next year because they have Washington players, right?
All right, Derek, you got it too.
My two might be your guys' one, but it's the Rams.
Oh yeah.
Rams are my two, just because at 13, you could have had, well, Lemon, right? Wasn't Lemon still there?
Yeah.
Yeah, the Eagles got him at 20.
Yeah, you could have had Lemon. You could have had someone on that offense because, okay, you don't know what's going on with Puka. He's having all sorts of off the
Oh
field
God,
issues.
what the heck happened there? Is
And then
gross.
Devontae seems to be hurt all the time. And so you have your
Well,
chance,
Devontae's getting old. Yeah.
you have your chance to get Lemon to go with that offense. You don't. And then in the second round, you pick a tight end, which is not a need.
Yeah.
And so it's like you only have five draft picks. You have to make them all count. And they're pretty underwhelming. I mean, I like Kennan in the seventh round. He's just a body, though. That's a nose guard. And that's nose tackle. That's great. But you get CJ Daniels in the sixth round, but you need to get a receiver in like the second at least.
Yeah. But you got Ty Simpson.
But yeah, I mean, think about this.
He can
If the
play receiver.
Rams, I would have been okay with Ty Simpson if the Rams would have drafted Branch in the second round.
Right.
You imagine Branch on that team?
Stupid. Stupid.
Yeah,
Insane.
he would fit in for sure. And I don't
Yeah. I'm sure Matthew Stafford would want a Zachariah Branch instead of Ty Simpson. Maybe Ty Simpson can play receiver. You never know.
right. He's fast. Fast.
So that's for me. And it's just the whole, they're like just a few players away from winning a Super Bowl. And
Yeah.
they didn't do it. They didn't get those few players.
You're that close. I'm not. You're that close. You have a culture. You have your identity, and they're like, let's get our future quarterback. I'm like, your future is now. Like nothing is guaranteed in the NFL. Like in 4 years, the Texans could be a dynasty. You don't know anything. Like they are so close to winning the Super Bowl, and the Super Bowl is being played in your home stadium, and you were there a couple of years ago and won it. Like, what are you doing?
Well, and that, just like you said, the Texans, think about 2 years ago. The Texans were like, oh, great, they're going to go to the Super Bowl. CJ Stroud's, doing this. And now we're like, oh, they're a quarterback away from going to the Super Bowl.
Right.
It's like, it's such a finite little time frame.
Yeah. Yeah, you got to take
Yeah,
advantage when you can put a few key players into missing holes in your lineups. And I don't there's a lot of teams that didn't do it, but I think the Rams failed miserably too. Number one though, I got 49ers here just because I get it. They didn't have a first round. A lot of people look at that way, but I'm basically everything you just said about the Rams. I kind of feel that way about the 49ers. They did get a couple of edges, but still, it's like those aren't even that good. So, what did you really do for your team, 49ers, in the draft? Like almost nothing. So I thought the Rams was too easy, so I left them off.
Yeah, well, yeah, you knew one of us was going to bring up the
I
Rams.
thought everybody was going to say the Rams at one, so I left them off. Uh, but what do you got at one, Wes?
Well, that honestly, looking at draft grades, and I've been watching ESPN and just update, and it's like, oh, everybody, let's give everybody a trophy in the top 20. They did such a great job, right? The most annoying team is the Patriots because you're the New England Patriots, and you know exactly what your problem is. You need you need speed. You need, like I said, you need some weapons at wide receiver. They didn't draft one effing wide receiver in the draft. Not even like you got that many. One, two, three, four, five, six, seven, eight, nine. There's not one wide receiver. You didn't draft
Nine
one.
picks,
But you did get Morton from Texas Tech at the seventh round.
right?
It's like not risky, and I don't want to hear about AJ Brown. Like we're not going to even talk about AJ Brown and what a head case that guy is. Like, oh, we'll get AJ Brown. That dude thinks he's Megatron, and he is not even Terrell Owens. He is not good. He has no separation.
No,
He can't win coverages anymore. He can't run a slant. Go ahead and get A.G. Brown. I bet you they don't even make the playoffs next year.
that's a not a horrible bet.
Go ahead and get A.J. Brown. And then Drake May's like, what did I do wrong? Well, there's nothing you can do wrong with the guy. The guy's a head case. That's all there's to it. You can't make A.G. Brown happy unless Joe Montana's throwing to him.
I don't even know if that helps. That guy can't catch very well.
I will
But
say, I did like Lomu, at least. They got him a tackle.
you gotta give
Oh,
him a little protection.
yeah. Oh,
But yeah,
no. Oh,
unless
no.
you're, I mean,
Oh,
that's
no.
right. They have no receivers.
No receivers did. I'm sorry. In the NFL, you got some receivers.
Maybe
This
Jam
isn't,
Miller
this
can play
isn't
receiver.
1984. We're just not handing the ball off to Bo Jackson and Marcus Allen. Like, you have to have receivers.
All right, number one, Derek, what do you got?
It's anticlimactic. It's the Niners. I mean, like, how many drafts are they that their top pick is going to be a receiver? Like, seriously, what are they like? The Matt Millen Lions, like drafting receiver after receiver every year?
Maybe eventually they'll get a good one.
Yeah, and I mean, yeah, he did.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
But
mean
Well,
the
they
diff
took
Brent.
Black before Washington.
Yeah. Well, they're like, oh, we're gonna trade Ayuk, right? And now there's a sweepstake for Ayuk. Like the Raiders are gonna get money. I don't want Ayuk. He doesn't want a rehab. He just wants money.
yeah, I don't understand.
There should be a school for wide receivers. It's almost like, hey, it's like a therapy session for these guys. Like, hey, let me show you this guy named Jerry Rice. He was pretty good. He wasn't a mental case. This guy, no one's gonna break his records at all. Why don't you try to be more like him? No drama, no head case crap. I just run mountains and hills, win Super Bowls, score 3 touchdowns in Super Bowls. How about I just be like that guy?
They all want to be Randy Moss or Terrell Owens or Chad
Did you
Ochocinco.
hear Randy Moss didn't stretch? Did you hear that one?
He didn't have a muscle, wasn't he, to stretch?
Just like Bo Jackson never lifted weights. He's like, I don't stretch. He's
He's like,
like
I
the
don't
Allen
stretch.
Iverson of football. He's like, practice? Stretch?
All right, well, let's go on to some good now. We've talked a bunch of bad. I mean, I'll let you guys start off. We don't need to go three down this time. Let's just talk about the ones that did the three, or who's in our top three. I'm gonna just tell you right now, Raiders are in mine, but since you guys are the Raiders guys, I'll let you tell us why the Raiders draft was so good.
Good, Derek.
I mean, for me, it's just first off, because I know I'm not like a savant on all these. So when I saw Traden Sooks, I was like, oh man, really? And then once you read up and you're like, oh, okay, that was a good pick. I just think with Stooks, McCoy, Johnson, Massis, boom, your whole secondary, right? You got two safeties, two corners to go along with um, Stokes and Porter and Chin. So all of a sudden, your secondary is a strength. They get Crawford. They trade Tyree Wilson because I feel bad for the guy. He should have never been drafted that high. He gets a fresh start. Then they draft Crawford to replace him. So then you got to replace him
Yeah.
with, and Crawford was played better than Falk this
Third
year.
round too, like that's a really good pick.
And then, they were like, oh, we don't want Genti to get wear and tear. So let's get Mike Washington Jr., who's was rated like the third best running back in the fourth round at 122. And then they're like, oh, let's just get some more speed. So let's get Malik Wilt Benson in the sixth round.
Yeah,
But then, like the whole story is you got your quarterback, your franchise quarterback, and then you got Jermond McCoy in the fourth round at pick
right.
101.
That was a steal.
I mean,
Complete steal. Because they said, oh, well, he has degenerative knee problems. It's going to degenerate. It's like, well, that's nobody cares about, defensive players for 4 years. I mean, what are we talking about here? Yeah, it was a steal.
yeah. I mean, he was some were saying he was the best corner in the draft.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he just fell because of they're worried about
Injury.
re-injury,
Yes.
and
So to
he
get him in
looked
the fourth round,
he looked great in the combine, or at least running a 40.
yeah. So to get him
Uh,
in the fourth round, I mean, that's
well, I
gold.
mean, we're going to talk about steals later, but I think McCoy's probably your biggest. And when you pair that with getting a great pick like that, you get your quarterback in there, and then, like you said, you're not just putting people into places, right? It's not, hey, we need a tackle, let's get an offensive lineman. They got good players in good positions that they needed that are going to make impacts right away in a lot of different positions across their team. So you have to look at that as probably the biggest win for any team because they did have a lot of needs, but you didn't just try to fill needs or reach for players to fill those needs. You got the best players at the time, in those positions, I think for a lot of their positions. So
Well, and then Stooks and Johnson are safeties, but have played nickel,
yeah.
corner. Trey Zune has played all offensive lineman positions. So like they got tons of versatility. And that's what I like for their defense is like, dude, you got all these players you could just throw out there and they could just be anywhere.
Yeah.
Yes. I mean, it's very, very versatile when you look at those guys. Wes, what did you think of the Raiders draft?
Well, solid. I mean, of course, you're going to pick Mendoza. Um, I mean, overall, yeah, Stukes, uh, Crawford at an edge. I mean, they had a nice draft, you know. But again, when you're bad, you need a lot of players, and the Raiders filled a lot of holes that they had to. You know, the only thing I would say is you probably should have drafted a receiver. Well, they did draft a receiver really late. Benson's okay, I guess. I mean, but you got Naylor. I get it, but you're bringing Mendoza. You know Mendoza's gonna play. I mean, we're talking about Kirk Cousins here. Kirk Cousins is gonna last about 4 weeks, 5 weeks, 6 weeks, and then you're gonna bring in his clone, which is Mendoza. It's so weird how they look alike. They actually just walk alike, throw alike. I'm like, dude, that's your clone, dude. And Mendoza's going to come in, and you want a couple more weapons, but you know what? You can always get that. You can, the Raiders, this idea that the Raiders are going to make a move next year in the playoffs, like, give it 1 or 2 years. This guy's not Dan Marino, I don't think.
Jeremiah
I don't
Smith.
know what to think.
Yeah, you might want to give it a whole nother year.
Well,
Because
Yeah.
for me, what
Yeah.
I'm thinking, because think about this. Okay, you got the Jets, the Cardinals, and stuff. They're all going quarterbacks next year.
right,
So who might fall to the Raiders? Maybe Jeremiah Smith.
right.
Yeah. That's true.
If you have a bad enough year, you're right there, and you're right. There's not a lot, um, or there's a lot of teams that want the quarterback and
But
not
you got
going to go
Brock
for
Bowers.
Jeremiah Smith.
Get. Oh, I don't know what I'm gonna do. Oh, I'm a rookie. Oh, I'll throw to that Brock Bowers guy.
Yeah,
He's
he's
pretty
pretty
good.
good. All right, so besides the Raiders, who do you guys got as a top three?
Oh, well, and I hate to say this because
The Cowboys.
no, they're top heavy in the draft. I
I
have to say the
purposely left
Jets.
them. I left them off my list so Wes wouldn't lose it. But they had a good draft. You can't. I mean,
Yeah.
It wasn't a bad draft.
well, when you look at the edges they got, right, that was immediate need, and you get one of the best players available.
No, they got Caleb Downs.
Right.
I still think Malachi Lawrence is a reach, but
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you guys said we said it about 10 times, right? We'll see how they do when they get there, but he's got the motor, right? They're just gonna have to. It's that high ceiling thing for me. I always look at that and saying, if you can get him in the right position, the right time, the right coaches, right, the
Yeah.
right scheme, those guys that have those really high ceilings, you just don't know how good they can be.
Well, and the thing about the Cowboys, I'm differentiating the Cowboys from the Jets. The Jets basically has to fill holes their whole team. The Cowboys, they Downs is like a hybrid. Downs can play in the box. He can play. He's all over the place. You don't know where he's at, and he's a playmaker. He's gonna make plays on defense. I love Downs. They moved up one spot for Downs. That was a steal. I was like, man, I can't stand the Cowboys. Like, why did you have to do? Why did Downs have to go with the freaking
Oh
Cowboys?
man. Well,
Just
I mean, I'm
brutal.
sure your team wasn't the Cowboys, so who do you going with?
The Jets.
Yeah.
I have to just because you're at 2, you get Bailey, and the steal for me is Sadiq. I mean, think about it. That dude is lethal as a tight end, you know? And then you finish up the first round with Omar Cooper Jr. All right, stalled receiver, but that dude just makes plays. And then I can't stand Clemson, but I'll take Cade Kluber in the 4th round. Why not? We'll see. I mean, if he sucks, get another 4th round quarterback or get Arch Manning. But why not? Why not try it? I
Yeah,
like their draft.
you got to have somebody, I guess.
I guess so. I mean, that dude, I mean, it's not his fault he played under the loudmouth of the South. Like, maybe that was the problem. He played under him, like, oh, I'm the best coach ever. It's like, no, you're not Nick Saban. Shut
Uh,
up.
but it's
You are
Dabo
not Nick
Sweeney. Come
Saban.
on, man. I agree. They had a great draft. I really like the diversity in their first round, right? You got your great edge. You make sure you get the secondary receiver to go with Garrett Wilson, and then Sadiq is a wild card. You know he's going to perform, but you don't know
You
how
just
well
don't know.
he could be. What's his name or better from Tyler Warren, right? He could be a lot like Warren was for the Colts.
Or he could be Ricky Dudley.
We could be Ricky Dudley. Anybody could be Ricky Dudley.
It's the Jets. You know how hard it is just even pronounce the Jets doing something good?
Yeah.
Like, it's
So
hard.
so good draft for them though. They even got a couple other good players too. Even if you're just looking past the first round, I mean, I like that the corner they got.
D'Angelo Pounds.
Yeah, yeah, he's
Yeah.
solid. So I think they had a good draft. I had him up there. Derek, what do you got? Give us one.
My third was the Giants,
Yeah,
but they would have been my number one if they would have taken Downs instead of Money Noah. But to get Reese, and then Malinoa was probably what people were saying he was going to go maybe even to the third pick overall.
right.
To get him at 10, then to get Colton Hood in the second round, a really good corner. He was probably a top three, top four corner. Malachi Fields, because like we talked about Lemon because of like going over the middle and stuff, but then you get Fields, who's still different than Neighbors because he's your possession guy.
Yeah,
And then I really like they got Jack Kelly in the sixth round, play middle linebacker.
yeah. What I didn't, yeah, Jack Kelly's solid. I don't understand why people don't like the Malachi Fields pick. Maybe that's just me. Maybe I don't know something, but I think he's a solid receiver. I think it was a really good pick for him, but there was a lot of hate towards that pick.
Well, he doesn't run fast, but you know who he reminds me of is Alshon Jeffrey.
Yeah,
Alshon Jeffrey ran like a 4.5 40.
if
And
that.
yeah, and he had a pretty decent career.
Yeah. Well, and then
So did it.
Hood at corner was a great pick too. I mean, you can't.
Now, I would have taken Styles and Downs though.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
Man, you
Oh,
imagine
yeah.
that? Wow. They could
Sonny
imagine if they had
Styles.
Styles and Downs. That would be wild.
But then
But I had
again,
the
I
I had
mean,
the
this whole
Giants up there.
philosophy is like, why do we need big stars? Let's get a bunch of guys that are young and fast that do their job. It's like the Patriots. Everyone's trying to copy the Patriots defense, you know? But it would be interesting to see two like those type of players on one team. You know, what does
But
that do
then
to your
again,
defense?
if you're a quarterback and on any given play, you could have Carter, Thibodeau, Reese, and Brian
Stupid,
Burns all out.
stupid, stupid.
That's what you call under fire. Um, I'll throw out another one here that I think didn't get a lot of love either was the Commanders. Because I mean, we're speaking about Sonny Styles, right? So here's the thing. That was one of the biggest pieces I think any team added that of what they needed, right? When you talk about a team need and adding the right person early pick as well and a superstar, that's huge for any team. But then Antonio Williams in third round, you got the 49ers taking what I think was a worse receiver at the beginning of the second. So that's a good pick, but mostly you're adding players who are going to help you fill holes. I think Katron Allen is going to be better than people give him credit for, and he's going to be that bruiser, third down, goal line back that they need.
Yeah.
So I like the Commanders draft. I think they did great.
Yeah. I
Any
can't
others
stand the
we didn't
Commanders,
mention
but you're
there,
right.
Wes?
What?
Any others we didn't mention that you got on your radar?
Well, I don't want to mention them because I can't stand them, but I do have to give a little bit of love to the Chiefs.
Oh,
Really? Am I really doing this? Yes, I
eh,
am. They had a good draft. They filled their hole defensively. They didn't perform very well. So what they do, they stacked up their defense. And to get Emmett Johnson in the 5th round, like, come on, 5th round, Emmett Johnson.
that's
Okay,
wild.
And then
I
they
mean,
get Nussmeier in the
and they got
7th.
Nestmeyer in the 7th
Yeah,
round.
what are
Like,
we doing? We're just letting
like
the
I would
Chiefs.
I'm like getting takers next year when basically 20 of the NFL teams are going to suck at quarterback next year. Like, hey, do you want this Garrett Nussmeyer? Can we get, we'll get, that's trade bait right there. You know, Cyrus Allen in the 5th round. I mean,
They had a good
can't
draft. Like,
stand
I
the
mean,
Chiefs.
I
There's no
know.
Travis Kelsey replacement, though. That's what really annoys me.
Right, right. You got to get a tight end, right? Well, they could have one of the Bears 18.
Oh, jeez.
They have 27 tight ends.
Doesn't
See what I
matter
be
who the
mad about
coach
tight
is.
ends
They just
for the
draft tight
Bears.
ends.
They're
You
gonna
got to
hang them
stack your
up.
tight ends, dude. You need more tight ends.
Crazy.
They're like, I got a fever, and the only prescription is more tight ends.
More
We're in
tight ends.
3 tight end. We're in 31.
I do like Kansas City's draft though. A lot of people have them rated number one, but I wouldn't
Well,
say
they
it's number
moved. They
one.
moved up a couple spots for Delane. I mean, I was like, all right, he's the best cornerback in the draft. You know,
Well, now it's a big fill for them.
Yeah. I mean, they
yeah.
did. They got defense, but like to
But
say
we
that they
hope the
had the
worst
best
for him.
draft, that's crazy talk.
Yeah. Well, I saw it.
I know. Well, that's when you got the people that are like big time Chiefs homers. Uh, but sadly, the team that had the best draft, and because just like the Jets, they have like a million holes, it's the Browns.
Yeah.
Oh God, it is.
I mean,
It is the
Fano,
Browns
Concepcion, Boston, McNeil Warren, and then they got
because they need weapons.
yeah, Austin Barber. They got
But
Brailsford.
they got Green in the
Yeah,
6th round. That dude could start next year.
yeah.
Halen Green for Arkansas. I mean, I don't want to hear about Watson. I don't want to hear Deshaun Jackson. They could spoon each other in the offseason. Taylon Green could start next year.
What about
He's got
Shador?
you get him in the 6th round.
Didn't they draft Shadur in the 6th round?
I don't know, dude. I don't care. I should know that because everyone talks about it.
So
Yeah,
Taylon Green is going to come in
Taylon
and
Green
take
in the
over
6th round.
from the sixth round again.
He can run.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's athletic. That's for sure.
and then
Yeah.
they got what 2 firsts next year? What the Jets have 3 firsts next year?
So crazy.
And they got
Well,
Justin Jefferson,
Yeah,
but at linebacker.
yeah. Well, and then I know off topic, but worst also just because of one pick, the stupid Arizona Cardinals.
Oh man. Jeremiah Love.
He's a great player, but you have like a million holes on your team.
Yeah.
Oh, dude. But don't tell me Jeremiah Love is gonna blow it up. Like they're just like we just want to get fans in the seats.
That's
Like
not a
the
horrible.
Arizona's so pathetic that they're like, this guy is like Barry Sanders. We will never win a Super Bowl, but we just need money. Like Jeremiah Love is going to destroy it next year,
It's
and
not
they
a
will
horrible
go 8
strategy.
and 9. They will go 8 and 9, and he's going to have like almost 2,000 yards rushing. Insane. And what I was surprised about is I thought the Titans were going to take him. I'm like, no, dude, this guy needs to be on turf. You got this guy. If he's on turf, it's over. Jeremiah Love is going to destroy it next year, and they'll go 8-9.
You heard it here first. And if you didn't hear, if it doesn't happen, we'll do the reacting to
I will. I will. Yeah.
your own takes.
If they go 4 and whatever, I'm going to be. Yeah.
Jeremiah Loves goes hurt on the first quarter of the first game.
Then they'll get Arch.
Right. All right. So last thing in the draft, um, just steals. If you have any one or two steals, I'm stealing your guys's because I think McCoy is probably the biggest steal for the Raiders of the whole draft. I really think that he could be the top corner, if not arguably, right? Delane probably is a little more solid, but I think McCoy's got a little bigger upside. So that was one of my steals. Throw out a couple steals.
Um, I had Harold Perkins going in the sixth round. I mean, pass rusher. And with the Falcons, with whatever's going on with Pierce, they need pass rushing to get him in the sixth round. It's like that's value.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a good pick.
I
Wes, you
mean,
got any?
I don't know.
I
It's
got.
like
I already mentioned Katron Allen, but I think getting him in the sixth round, like, I think that's a great pick. You look at him at Penn State; he was a beast, and that's not an easy
Katron
conference.
Allen is a beast. To get him this, and I can't understand how he drops the 6th round.
He's not speed.
I
He doesn't have
mean,
the speed. That's
yeah, he doesn't
people.
have he doesn't have that breakaway speed.
So they all care about, but it's so dumb. It's like, dude, you don't need it. You don't need it, dude. If you could get between the tackles and you have 15 to 20 yard speed and you're a big back like he is, why do you need to run a 4.40?
yeah, it's like it's fourth quarter. It's. I think Katron Allen was a steal at that. And why do you have to go to Washington? God, I can't stand Washington.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I mean,
Well, I'll tell you another one then. The Texans get Lewis Bond also in the sixth round. He's the guy that ended up at Boston College, and
yeah.
he's really good. And he's just playing for Boston College for some reason.
Yeah. Well, that was like, well, we already talked about him, but the Chiefs getting Nussmeier in the seventh round. It's
Yeah,
crazy.
it's a great
And then
pickup
my
there.
other one is Dion Burks going to the Colts in the seventh round
Yeah.
because they lost
That's a
Pittman,
steal.
and I thought he was going to be like a third or fourth rounder.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then I mean it's not a super surprise. I mean it's still early in the second round, but I just Anthony Hill Jr. for me is one of those guys that you just don't know how good he's going to be. That could end up being a really great pick by the Texans. But that's a second round pick, but still it's still not super high. It was late second round.
Yeah.
All
And
I
right,
mean,
well,
here's the real steal. Undrafted free agent, the
oh no.
Tokyo
Oh
Toe.
no. I know exactly what you're gonna say. Pavia.
Kensei Matsusawa. First Japanese. He's a Japanese born kicker. Saw his first NFL game, first game ever. He went to the Oakland Coliseum to watch the Raiders on Monday night, and he fell in love with football. And he then decided he wanted to be a kicker, and he learned off of YouTube.
nice.
And
Well,
then he
hey,
went and he did community college, and then he got scholarship to Hawaii, and he was the most accurate kicker in college football last year.
Nice. Who signed
Yeah,
him?
The Raiders.
the
Oh,
Raiders.
okay.
So
That
the
makes
the,
sense.
the
Am
team
I-
that he fell in love with football because of signs him. Plus, they need a kicker anyway.
mine's Malachi Fields. I know it's the third round, but he fell to the third round, and the Giants got him. Like another team might annoys me. It's the Giants, but Malachi Fields.
I think he's better than people give him credit for just because he doesn't get the chance. Nobody really saw how good he can be.
Oh,
Uh,
stupid! You should watch Notre Dame. It's insane. Like, oh, I'm gonna hand off to Jeremiah Love. Oh, and then I'll throw it to play action to Malachi Fields. That they had the best. Uh, they had Notre Dame had the most yards per completion in college football, 15 yards. Why? Malachi Fields.
right. I think that's a great pick. Like I said, I don't know why
Carr lost a big weapon in Malachi Fields.
The Giants got a lot of hate for that pick, and I don't think it was justified.
Yeah.
All right, let's wrap NFL there, and let's talk a little bit NBA here as we kind of finish up our sports segment. So, first round NBA so far, we've got Spurs closed, the Thunder for nothing against the Suns. The Rockets look like they are going to hold on maybe for another day there. But so only two
Why?
series
They're playing
closed.
the GOAT.
He's gonna play in the coat. Well, we're gonna talk about him in a second. So, Wes, we'll give you a little bit of props here because you were on Minnesota. Unfortunately, Anthony
No,
Edwards is
everybody
now
got
hurt.
hurt.
Right. But they're still winning the series 3-2.
Yeah, they're not gonna hold up. Their best chance. They're playing at home, Game 6, and McDaniels have scored another 50 points, and they have a chance. He can. I think something got into him. He's like, wow, I'm really good. It's like, you are really good,
Yeah.
but you can't score 15 points or 19 points. You have to
Well,
score 50 points for him to beat the Nuggets
he
in the
talked
next
a
game.
lot
If
though.
they lose the next game, they're done. It's just a wrap. They're not going back to Denver.
Not in a game 7, no way.
No way.
Yeah, this is their chance. They need Julius Randle right now to come up and have a 25 and 10 game is what they need.
Yeah.
And
Julius
then
Randle has to be old Julius Randle.
right. But like I said, you were on that, right? You were from the beginning, even as good as the Nuggets, look on their roster, they still having trouble here, even with an injured Minnesota team. So that was a good call out there. The Orlando struggling, or the Pistons struggling with Orlando. We know Orlando is pretty good. We talked about that, but man, the Pistons just do not look
Oh.
good.
Durant, the worst series ever. Like that dude got so posterized. Did you guys see the posterized? Like it was Kane that just and this guy
Yeah,
doesn't even play. He just dunked on Durant so bad. Like Durant's like he's having the worst series. And so, Cunningham can't do everything, you know? And
no,
or honestly, Orlando's got a good team. They've underachieved at points of the season, but you know what? They're going to win that series. I don't
why?
think Detroit is coming back.
So Franz, though, Wagner was hurt this game, which they end up losing because they were up 3-1. Um, but it sounds like he might be back for game 6. So
Yeah.
that will be the big difference
Yeah.
there because it's going to be in Orlando.
Well, and I said it before when we were talking about champion. I was like, oh, Detroit, I don't really think has a chance because they're too young and they need to experience the playoffs, really.
Yeah.
They're like, okay, remember OKC a few years ago was like that.
Yep.
Yeah.
A good seed, just didn't have the experience under the belt.
Right. They were a number one mirage because they weren't a one seed.
Well, how you feeling still about the Knicks at this point?
I'm fine. I mean, they just can't be doing Brunson hero ball all the time.
No.
Get Cat involved. Let's do just a bunch of pick and rolls with Cat. Be fine. Um, I mean, the Hawks got off hot in the first few games, and then I was like, well, CJ, we know CJ
Yeah.
being here in Portland. He's not going to be hot the whole series, and now he's cooled off.
Yeah.
Yeah, they'll get through this series for sure, but we got them going,
Well, then we
you
we
know,
knew that the next round is the Eastern Conference Championship,
it feels like it.
Yeah.
right? It's if it's the Celtics Knicks, that's whoever wins that is going to go to the NBA Finals.
That's what it feels
Yeah.
like for sure.
I'm sorry, but you're gonna have to have, you know, Brunson. I love Brunson, but at some point you're like, he just can't do everything. Then Towns has to step up. But come on, you gotta have Josh Hart and Miguel Bridges. Like, come on, dude. Like,
Dude,
you
doing
you need
nothing.
wing, you need wing play to advance against the Celtics.
Well, they need help from their bench. Yeah, specifically
Yeah,
their bench and their role players, right?
yeah, yeah. And you
They,
never know that all of a sudden it could happen. Like the Knicks were like down 2-1. Everyone's like let's just bury them right now. I was like, no, you never know. This that's probably what they needed. You know, I don't know. I'm not even a big fan of the Celtics. I
well,
think the
here's the
Celtics
thing.
can get beaten in a 7 game series.
We just talked about this at the beginning, right, of the playoffs with Embiid and George both hurt, banged
Oh
up,
yeah,
or I mean, not even real banged up. You can get beat at appendicitis or something, right?
yeah,
And so, but he's back and played really well the last few games, helped them,
yeah.
close out game five. So Boston has their work cut out for them
Not yeah.
because you got to go into Philly, right, for game six. They're most likely going to a game seven, I think.
Well, look, you got Edgecombe, you got Maxi. Those guys are. Yeah, can you imagine if Embiid was for the first game? It's over. Embiid, Maxi, and Edgecombe, like that. That's lethal.
Don't forget Paul George.
Oh yeah, that Paul George
He's
guy.
kind of good.
Yeah,
Uh, but yeah, that one was tough. I mean, maybe, that was my prediction. I didn't realize Embiid had the missed games, but even with that, I still think the 76ers are dangerous. And I don't know. We'll see what happens with that game with the Celtics. But everybody else is 3-2, right? So everything that still opens 3-2 now with the Rockets winning and two close series. As far as the Spurs and the Thunder, so last thing on the first round here, after what we see in the first round, how does Spurs and Thunder compare to the rest of the West, but maybe even the East as well? Are there any teams that really compare are going to be able to beat the Spurs or the Thunder this year?
Well, I'm not really sold on the Spurs as much as the Thunder. I think the Thunder heads and tails above everyone else. The Spurs could have been down 3-1, but like an inexperienced Blazers team choked 2 games away.
Yeah, but not having Wemby the whole time hurts.
Yeah, but then he was there for the next game, and the Blazers had an 18-point lead on him.
Blazers really blew that game, both
Yeah.
games.
And that's what I'm saying is you had an inexperienced Blazer team show that the Spurs are not.
Right. Well, because they're very inexperienced themselves.
That's why I feel like the Thunder are going to roll them.
Did you see the stat with Drew Holiday's playoff games played
It
versus
was like
like
more than everyone
the
else
Spurs? Well, the
combined.
Spurs like had no, well, and the Blazers. It's like both
Yeah.
teams had like nobody that's played many playoff games. And I was like, that's crazy. What do you think about Spurs, OKC, Wes?
Oh, I think we talked about this last time. Is Wimby is Wimby, but the neutral you what you have to do is neutralize Wimby and make everybody else beat you, and they got Chet. Chet, of course, Chet is not going to put up the numbers that Wimby's going to, but he will hold down his numbers enough to beat them. That's what I think. I don't know. It's like I saw Wimby's numbers the other night. Like everyone's making a big deal how he blocked the guy with one hand and then grabbed the ball. It was like, and it was insane. I'm like, he is the alien. He's that good.
Yes.
But Chet is a body. Chet's gonna hold him down enough to win. I think that
Yeah.
series. It's not gonna be easy. It's not like OKC's gonna just roll in there and roll over the Spurs. But if anyone's gonna hold Chet down, I mean, excuse me, Wimby down enough, it's gonna be Chet. So I'm taking OKC.
Yeah. They're gonna need it. All right. Well, should be interesting playoffs. It's so far so good. I'm in. I'm invested. So I'll be watching. So we did a this was really interesting, and I'll see how if I can link this picture that we we're talking about. We're talking about NBA players in the 80s, and I might have taken this different than you guys did, so we'll see how this goes. But there's a picture of these seven players, and they're the best players, at the time. You've got Magic, you got Bird, Jordan, Kareem, Moses Malone, Dr. J, Isaiah Thomas, all sitting on a bench in a picture. And the picture says, who's the worst in the 80s, right? Of these 80s players. And this is tough. So what I said is let's rank them. But let's just start with it with this picture you saw, right? So again, Isaiah Thomas, Dr. J, Moses Malone, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, Michael Jordan, Larry Bird, Magic Johnson. Who's the worst of that group?
Well, if we're talking strictly the 80s,
Right.
not like career, just the 80s,
That's kind of how I looked at that. When I first read that, I was like, okay, we're just talking the 80s. So that's the way I put my list.
and that it's Dr. J.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'd say so. I would say so too.
I feel like Isaiah and Dr. J could be switchable, but yeah, you
Moses
got
Malone is very underrated. Moses
really
Malone's a
underrated.
beast.
He is a beast.
He was
So
unstoppable.
I definitely think Isaiah, Dr. J, you could go either way there, but I can land easily on Dr. J being the of the 80s the worst.
If I'm going to go, if we're just strictly talking 80s, do you want me to give you my whole list?
Yeah, give us a list.
Just the 80s. We're not talking career.
Yeah, yeah, just the 80s.
Bird is one, Magic is two, Jordan's three, Malone is four, Kareem five, Isaiah six, Dr. J seven.
All right, Wes, give us your list.
Yeah, no, it's yeah, but I that's pretty much it. But the thing about Dr. J, he was a '70s player.
Right. And so
He
same with
he he
Kareem.
was he was older.
Yeah.
His heyday was the '70s. So of course he was a flyer. He's Dr. J. But yeah, I would agree with that list.
Yeah, when I look at it, same thing. You look at even like Jordan in such a short period of time in the 80s, he did so much because he only got half the 80s, really, if you
Right.
think about it. Um, I only difference I have is I have Magic at one and Bird at two instead of Bird at one and Magic at two. And again, those probably are interchangeable when you're talking about this list, kind of like the end of the list to me. And then Jordan at three, and then Malone, Kareem, Dr. J, and Isaiah. So are my first two and my last two are interchangeable with what you guys
and
are
these
talking.
are for the time. It's like
Yeah, just for the
when
80s.
you're watching them on the bench, it's like, yeah, Jordan's not one. He's not there yet. But
Right.
it's
Especially
Jordan.
when you're just talking 80s, but when you look at their picture, you can see that because it's young Jordan, right? That's a young Jordan picture. And when you're looking at him next to Bird and Magic and all the Kareem and Moses, and you're like, young Jordan? I don't know about that.
Well, and
Even though he put it, even though when he scored 63 on Boston, right? And they asked, Bird after the game, it's like God was in the gym tonight. This is what Larry Bird said.
Oh
That's
yeah.
how good he was. Like you put
well,
up 60, and they lost that game too. So he put up 63 points, they lost. But
the reason why I
still,
put Bird
it's
one,
Bird.
the reason I put Bird
Bird
one is because he
was
won three straight
so
MVPs,
yeah,
Right.
and only him, Bill Russell, Will Chamberlain ever done that.
yeah. It's dumb.
His stats were surprisingly good too. Like you don't realize how good his stats were because he averaged so many rebounds too.
Yeah,
Um, I kind of went with Magic for the championships.
yeah, but you had two people on that picture on those
Right.
teams.
Well, yeah. But you know what's crazy? Like all I get now, I don't even get Magic or Kobe highlights on my feeds. All I get is Bird, and I watch those highlights. It's insane. Like, and we were young. Like, I don't. I was a Lakers fan because of Magic, but I don't remember Bird that much,
Well,
dude.
because he got
Insane.
hurt.
His trash talking, his confidence. Like, Bird was insane.
Well, they talk about like now, with Steph Curry's the greatest shooter of all time type stuff.
Oh,
The thing
jeez.
is it's crazy to hear like old players like Gary Payton or all these guys, and they're like, a Bird would tell you, I'm going to dribble over here,
Yeah.
juke, and then go right here and shoot it in your face.
The
And he
the
would tell you it and do it.
the no, the best story, and I'm gonna keep this really short, is Bird. They put this guy, a defensive specialist, on Bird. He played for the Nuggets. It's like some white guy,
Who
and he
put this white guy on me?
he kept just hitting J's on him, and he yelled to Nuggets coach. He's like, "You're actually gonna put a white guy on me, dude? You're not gonna." He was talking trash to the coach, dude. Like you put a white guy on me, just
Dude,
destroyed the guy.
Bird has no limits to his trash talk, and it's some of the best too. So I mean, it's like I said, you could interchange it for me. Like I said, I went with championships because Lakers won five in the '80s, but you gotta look at Bird. Stat wise, a little better in Magic. If you're going like PRA, and then the three MVPs is tough.
And have you seen his nephew play for Murray State? One last thing, I'll tell you this right now. I guarantee you that Bird's like, oh yeah, Magic has one more title than me. Well, my freaking nephew is gonna be better than any of Jordan or family, and that dude's pretty good. He'll be playing the NBA real soon.
Yeah, it's always fun to watch that too.
And this is a segue into
Right.
bringing
Oh
family members into
jeez.
the
Bringing
NBA.
family members because as
Oh
we're
no.
gonna wrap it up here with LeBron. You know, he's always been vocal. You can't say he hasn't been vocal. I think the big one right now is the talking about NBA officiating, you know, for me, that's why I asked the question is did he earn the right to do this or is it just like, hey man, just play basketball? I don't think anybody I don't care if you call yourself the GOAT or you think you're the GOAT or whatever you've done. Like, going out and talking about officiating and, just kind of leaning into it's not a good look, number one. And I don't think you earned that. Nobody earned that right. So I don't like the talking about officiating, number one. You've
Yeah.
got the Stephen A. Smith feud.
Oh God.
People are talking about the Israel comments he made, but the city relocation one is weird. So have you seen this one? So this is another one.
No,
Was it
He
from
remind me.
suggested,
Nashville? And
yeah. Oh, so he suggested that these teams should basically like be relocated, Memphis and Milwaukee, because he doesn't like playing there.
Yeah. Well, here's and before we get into, there is no debate, number one. But understand that I've seen the lists of the Laker greats of all time, and I've seen LeBron at the top, which is ridiculous. Number one, the only championship he won was in the bubble. And he was the only, listen to this, he was the only player that said, I don't want to play in the bubble. He actually voted. He was the only one, they had a vote. It was like the 12 heads of all these, and he said, I don't want to play. So, number one, he wins, right, in the bubble. That's the only championship he won. But he's the greatest Laker? Is everybody high?
That's
Of
crazy.
course, he's played longer than anybody else. There's another dude that did so, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. Nobody talks about him, do they? He played a long time too. We get it. Longevity. As a player built, if you're going to build the perfect basketball player, you're building LeBron James. But that doesn't mean you're Michael Jordan, because Michael Jordan had it here and
Yeah.
here. He's like, Michael Jordan built himself. Michael Jordan wasn't that good in high school and college. He built himself into that. He used the mentality.
I also don't like just his general, I guess maybe it's a personality thing for me, the demeanor. A lot of people hated Michael Jordan, don't get me wrong. And he's kind of a jerk. But that's just what he was, right? That he just had this kind of
It was his edge.
personality. He's tenacious. He had that. Where LeBron is, maybe it's the flopping, maybe it's just like the changing teams multiple times to win championships. It's just a general feeling I get from him of that he's just not. He doesn't have that same fire that a Jordan
Doesn't.
has. LeBron just happens to have
Or
like
even, bro, what are we
incredible
even
tools.
talking about Jordan? Let's talk about Bird. Bird had more fire. Like, Bird was an assassin. He just didn't have the tools that everybody else had. When it comes to team, it's just like
Why? Because
LeBron.
he's white, Wes?
He's had
He's
a great
racist.
playoff. He's had a great couple months, but it's just like, and someone on ESPN, I think it was Kendrick Perkins said this. He's like, if 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 the Lakers beat the Rockets, LeBron's the GOAT. And I go, let me tell you something, Kendrick. You were high. I don't know what you're smoking. Like, you forgot who Michael Jordan was.
I think the thing that people forget with Jordan, and this is where I get irked about Jordan and LeBron. LeBron gets everything handed to him. He's not had to deal with any adversity. Jordan had to change his body
Yeah.
to go against the Pistons.
Oh, yeah.
Like, if anyone touches LeBron, it's a foul or a flagrant, or it's like, of course LeBron should be getting 30 points a game, dude. Think about if Magic Johnson played nowadays, he'd be going down the court and then boom,
Yeah,
right,
get fouled every time.
Swiss cheesing through that defense.
So, so Wes, what is the specific comment that we want to highlight?
Well, in LeBron's there. I heard this one and one thing. Well, in my generation, compared to Jordan, I'm the GOAT. So he's the GOAT. They're both GOATs. It's just the mentality of this society. It's like, why get a trophy too? It's like, dude, you wouldn't even be able to hang in the 80s and 90s with these guys. You'd have a couple titles, maybe. But come on, you're 4-6 in titles. Michael Jordan's 6-0, never gone to a game 7. But I will say one thing. I will give LeBron props for one thing. There was no Steph Curry in the freaking 80s or 90s. Like that, the shooting from the Golden State Warriors was insane. I'll give them some props on that.
Yeah, it changed the game.
They actually said they had this debate. If it was the Golden State Warriors with Kevin Durant against the Bulls, who would win? And I'm like, no comment. Kevin Durant,
Yeah.
Steph Curry, and I don't know, dude.
It's easy, dude. Come on. Are you serious?
Nobody who's stopping Jordan.
Yeah, who's stopping Jordan?
Uh,
Ron Harper's
understand,
on Steph
you
Curry.
have 3 3-point assassins.
Okay.
So
Ron
Jordan and
Harper's
Pippen got to hit their 3-pointers.
Okay, so Ron
And
Harper's on
Steve Kerr.
Steph Curry, right? Pippen's on Clay. Rodman's on Durant.
That's
You're
pretty tough.
probably right. You're probably right there, but I'm saying it could be a debate.
And we're talking mental toughness.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, we know that. Come on, it's freaking Jordan. I love and what's annoying to me is I love the triangle. I think teams should run the triangle. The only thing now is you have a debate if you can run the triangle and hit 3-pointers.
Right.
At the rate everyone's hitting 3-pointers.
I mean, Jordan hit 6 threes against the Blazers. He could shoot threes if he
He could,
his
yeah.
game that way.
It just wasn't a thing back then.
Yeah.
Because the Bulls were smart. They're like, okay, because they were scared of the Jazz for a minute. All we do, we slow the game down. We have Rodman to stop, Malone.
What was Jordan's career
wear them
3-point?
out. Huh?
What was Jordan's
I
career
don't think it was
3-point?
that good. I'm probably like 30%, 30 in the 30 range. But it's not. Here's the thing: is if he felt
32.
it's something that he would want to improve, he could.
Well, yeah, that's just Jordan though.
Yeah, can you imagine him? He's probably up at. I hear he doesn't sleep much. He's probably up at night. It's like,
he was
I
at,
can shoot better than Steph Curry.
He was at 32%.
Right.
But in 95, he was at 50%. And 94, 95 is at 42%. And then in the playoffs, he was averaged about 33%.
Right. But they shortened the line.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I mean,
dude, what do we even talk? Jordan would find a way to beat the Golden State Warriors. He's going to. He's gonna get Carmen Electra out of Dennis Rodman.
Let's
to see Carmen Electra for a
Let's finish up this LeBron comments.
Well, I just want one more Jordan thing. He did shoot 37% from 3 in the NBA Finals.
Right.
So when it mattered, finals,
he was just messing around normally.
I think if we watched, you could talk there was the one with Isaiah Ryder and KG. Have you seen that one?
Yeah.
Where they're interviewing those guys? And KG was talking mad trash about Jordan, and Jordan's like, okay. And he went off for 20 in the fourth. You don't want
to. No, you don't want to piss him off at all.
Yeah. No, there's no doubt. I mean, we know that, but that's interesting. I never looked up his career 3-point percentage before. And it's pretty good in that 94 to 97 years. But just in general, like so the last LeBron, let's finish up this LeBron topic. So LeBron has some wild comments. There's a lot of things you can look up, go and say, okay, he said this and back and forth with this. I guess the real question is LeBron's the face of the NBA. He's today's GOAT, right? For all your current generations. Like, does that give him the ability, like, is it okay for him to go out and be able to say anything he wants? Like, how does that affect the game? How does that affect fans?
Well,
I mean, for one thing though, is he the GOAT though for this generation, or is it Steph Curry?
I mean,
yeah.
there's always an argument for that.
And one more thing. Is Steph Curry retiring next year? Do you seen that? I think it's fake news.
Well, they might have like a top draft pick this year.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, that's the debate. That's the debate too. Is like, dude, look at Steph Curry. Like, I
You
mean,
think he's got to retire soon, right?
he
He won
just can't.
championships. He hasn't changed teams.
It's getting
And
old. Well, he stayed till his senior year in college.
Yeah.
the last couple years, I'm like, all right, dude, you need to think about other options, like go in the Knicks or something like that. Like Golden State, they're done. The Warriors are done. They're toast. They're not winning anything anymore. Like that's just a fantasy. So I wouldn't. I and you know what? He's a different. He's not a 6'7" guy. He's a smaller guy, but you could actually play longer the way he shoots.
But he's got to play defense though too.
Yeah, it LeBron. I will always look at LeBron as he's like Magic Johnson, and Magic Johnson is undervalued at what he did. He won. He won five championships and lost four, and LeBron's lost six. They're basically and they're both guys that LeBron's not Jordan because Jordan didn't do all the things that LeBron can do. He can. Jordan could have done it, but he didn't have to, you know? And so I think everyone's mixed up. And I'm just gonna throw out a shot to first take for 1 second. Mad Dog, everyone got mad about this debate, and Mad Dog say, hey dude, he's like, why is everybody so upset about who's the GOAT? It doesn't really matter. But come on, we all know who the GOAT is.
But everybody loves talking
We're
about it
not going to
though.
get mad about it, though. Right? I got mad about it.
We
And
all
then
love
Mad
talking
Dog's
about
like, why are you getting mad? I'm like, the dude named Mad Dog is telling me not to get mad.
it.
What does the world come to?
Well, that's what you get for watching too much daytime sports TV.
Yeah.
Oh, jeez.
All right, well, we'll wrap there with the NBA. Any final thoughts on the topics there? That's not related to Jordan and LeBron and the GOAT conversation.
I can't wait for mini camps to start. Let's get football going.
Right.
Yeah, we need some football. And the UFL, I'm gonna have one last comment about the UFL. I'm not a big fan, but I've told people for a long time, no one wants to watch the Arlington Renegades. I'm glad they changed their name to Dallas.
Arlington.
But I don't know if I'm gonna watch the game on Saturday.
Football is football.
Dallas versus DC.
Yeah. Well, don't worry, Wes. The WNBA is starting, so you can watch
Oh
that.
jeez. Oh god. We got next.
And Kaylee Clark's back.
She's back, all right.
Oh, this should be fun. I can't wait for the WNBA. But we still got the NBA Finals, which I don't know why you start your season when the NBA's in their playoffs. It seems like a little bit
Yeah.
bad marketing. we'll finish that up. Not a lot of football left, like you said. Spring training, things like that, but tons of movies coming. So we got a lot of media over the summer that will be hitting, and then this will be the first year. So keep make sure you keep watching, stay subscribed because we're gonna be talking baseball this year. Can't wait until that matters
The
because it just
Mariners
doesn't
had a
matter
good
right
day
now,
today.
right?
We were
They,
excited
they
about
still have
that.
150,000 games to play.
Yeah, it doesn't matter till after the All-Star break, really.
They're like, what do you guys do today? We're gonna play 4 baseball games. I go, okay.
It's like
But that'll be
Monday where
fun.
they show four on. Like, I just want to watch one of these games. Why am I watching four?
So that'll be great to watch. So any comments for NFL, NBA, MLB topics, let us know. That's we're rounding out here for the summer with all 3 topics. So love to hear that. And yeah, I mean, hopefully your team did well in the draft. I know these guys' team did. I'm not super happy with the Bears, but it is what it is. We're where we're at, and here we
You
go
got a
for the
good tight
next year.
end.
Right.
I thought you were serious when you said that. I was like, I think he's joking.
No, we're gonna have like 17 tight ends. Watch, it's gonna be awesome. All right, thanks for watching, everybody. We'll see you next time.